Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen, where I would like to get another shot at, killing all those hostiles at Security Boscaria after I failed so hard at it during the last recording, but ever since then I've pretty much always been able to do it, even that one time that I had 21 hostiles in here. So let's just try it again, right, shall we? Alright, there's been a patch, and because patches always include progress wipes, there's also been a progress wipe, so I have slightly different equipment than last time. Not quite as much armor yet, but do have a heavy piece of torso armor now, which in case we got hit there might probably help us survive longer. In any event, before we poke the hornet's nest in the center room, let's actually sneak around here for a bit. You got nothing, man. There's someone up there. Actually, do not want to tangle with that guy yet. Yeah, he does. No followed? No. The next one should be here. Alright. Now we can start to stir things up in the center. Let's take a look. There's always that one guy up the stairs, but they tend to not leave their posts much, other than the people in the center who occasionally try to swarm you if given the chance to. But there's another one. Are you dead? Okay. Are you dead? Hey man, sir! Are you dead? Okay. There should be at least one more guy in here. But I think we've thinned it out enough that we're gonna take a look upstairs now. Okay. Let's actually grab that real quick. Conserve some ammo by using their own guns against them. Alright, as I said, I'm wearing heavy torso armor now. It's heavier, which means that if you sprint, you lose stamina quicker, which means you can't sprint quite as much. You also walk a little bit slower, so it's bad. However, extra protection for your torso is helpful in case you don't want to die. Additionally, you can also, and that's what I really didn't know, you can also equip more weapons when you have heavy torso armors, because they have more hooks for bigger guns, so instead of just having one big gun, I think this suit can actually hold two, I believe. Maybe three, I wouldn't be entirely surprised, but more than one. It looked like a gun there for a second, but so we should have one guy on the topmost floor, and there's still one guy hiding in the center downstairs area somewhere. So let's take care of the guy up here first. It's always around the big room that's opening up. See you later, alligator. I'm not sure if that ammo is going to be enough for the last guy, but we're going to give it a shot. Or I can just throw that away. Let's just throw that away casually. Drop it. Let's take that again. Alright, this is basically the energy-based variant. I already saw that guy. He's right in the middle there. So if we just stand up from this position. He's right behind that. God damn it. Yeah, I'm a slippy bastard, I know. I know. Okay, good. Took care of that, and then we can go back outside again, I think. Good. That was the actual mission I wanted to show last time. Until I got murdered horribly after killing the first guy. Anyway, let's get back to our ship. Speaking of our ship, you might be wondering why there's a Constellation Andromeda parked out there. It's part of a longer explanation that I'll give you in a moment. Basically, I was looking at the ships that I already had, which was basically the Cutlass plus the Dragonfly, which was kind of intended to be kind of a bike that I could carry around in my Cutlass and then, you know, explore planets with. Which, although it was advertised as being somewhat of a feature for this, is still not working very well. You have about... You can try to fit your Dragonfly into your Cutlass, but chances are about as likely that you're just gonna destroy both of these things while trying to do so. So I thought maybe I should go and look for something else. You know, and I figured, you know, I don't really have a really good transport. I mean, the Cutlass can also trade and transport stuff, but it's certainly not great in it. But the Cutlass is probably the one single jack of all trades ship at this point. I think with one of our thrusters damaged, the ship always has issues. When we rise somewhere, maybe we should go and repair it before doing something serious. Yeah, let's maybe try and do that. But where are we going to? And we do have a sector sweep available though. And an ECN alert. Let's try and do the sector sweep even though one of our thrusters is damaged. It was a weird story during a previous mission where one of the enemies that I defeated was kind of stuck somewhere in the middle of the cockpit. And then continued to damage things for quite a while until all the ramming eventually destroyed the wreckage. I'm not quite sure if I could have done if I could have done anything there. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we're gonna go to. Wait, no. Can we just set one for there? Don't think it's gonna work. No, it's not working. Oh, it was working. Just isn't very visible unless we zoom in for us. Unless we zoom in further. So many thoughts. Sorry. So basically, I was trying to find a transporter that I would upgrade for my my Dragonfly to. The way I saw it, there were basically two choices. Both ships that are not in the game right now, but since they're scheduled to appear in Q4 of 2018, they might be in the game in the next 2 years. The one choice I didn't take was the one of the Freelancer Max, basically the most extreme variant of the Freelancer, which looked like a pretty nice ship, actually. No question there. What eventually got me to take the other choice instead was its severe lack of frontal guns, which I thought might be a liability if I ever try to use it for anything other than just, you know, getting away from someone who's trying to kill me. Which it'll probably be pretty good at some point because it has more computers. So with the two defensive turrets that it has, it could probably at some point these turrets can be used automatically. You don't need an NPC or another player manning them. So at some point it might it might have really good defensive capabilities. But until then, this little boat, which is actually not the one I bought, but is, well, the loaner I get for the one that I actually bought. Well, the one I bought is the Constellation Taurus version, which is the cheapest Constellation version. Basically, also it has the cheapest parts of all Constellation versions. It also doesn't have the lower turret that the Constellation has. I can make a quick tour around the ship. We have already been at one and we've toured it then, but maybe people have forgotten because that was like at a time where Don Krümel was still regularly playing and recording, you know? Sad face. Anyway, so it doesn't have the bottom turret that the normal Constellation variants have. However, it has a much more expanded cargo bay. And let's be real here for a second. That bottom turret sucks. It sucks hard. Because kind of the ladder half of the ship is basically in your way, so you have a very, very narrow field of view in the bottom turret anyway, so it's not really that helpful. So I don't think I'm gonna miss it much. In addition, well, it does have the worst the worst components compared to the other constellations. But as a Ferengi might put it, it has good upgrade potential. You know, if you upgrade it, it's still a constellation with all that entails, and it does come stock with a full assortment of four size 4 gimbal weapons, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. Having flown around with this a bit now, it's actually quite a lot of guns. Comparing to the Cutlass, which you didn't see in combat situations recently, but just for comparison, the Cutlass that I normally use and that I have done lots and lots of these patrol missions that we're currently doing, has 4 size 2 repeaters. This one has 4 size 4 repeaters. Now the question is probably going to be, so how much do these size matter? How much does size matter in Star Citizen? Well, boy, let me tell you. With every size increase, if it's the same gun, pretty much, a size increase is about an increase of 50% in efficiency. You know, efficiency mostly damage. You know, so just looking at that, 4 size 4 guns have 125% more damage, basically, which is good, because 125% more damage might be the difference between shooting something's shield down in one pass, and then before we make another pass, the shields are back up again, to completely obliterating it in one pass. You know, so that's useful. However, as you can probably see from the gentle flying around here in this asteroid field, the maneuverability is a lot worse than the Cutlass. The Cutlass is in a sweet spot where it's still maneuverable enough that you can basically think of it as a little bit slowish, a little bit more, a little bit bigger heavy fighter. But with this, you really cannot think that, because the turn rate is really bad. You know, it's not really a fighter anymore, so you shouldn't fight like a fighter would. Which, hopefully, if we ever run into enemies on this patrol, I can actually demonstrate. And we can take a look at how this ship should probably fight. And I can finally talk to people about elephant tactics, which I've wanted to do for years, but I never did a let's play of X2 or X3 and didn't have any reason to talk about it, so I can talk about it now. Elephant tactics. Yeah, but I think a demonstration first, then some explanations after that. Alright? Alright. Good, we're almost there. I thought first patrol point should have some enemies, but, well. Just in case, right now the AI has weird issues, because the 3.3.6 patch that was uploaded this morning does enable anyone, even people outside of the PTU, to go to Hurston and take a look at the new planet side stuff and all these things, which we're probably going to be doing in a future episode, but not right now. However, some of the missions that I like to do in 3.3 which was probably not 0.5 in the PU, but the earlier version, have weird issues right now from the AI just completely blanking out and just not moving at all. So just in case the enemies here just don't move, then it's not my fault. You know, the game has weird issues sometimes. Occasionally, the enemy AI works, but even then they have issues with that they feel like they're just trying to ram you. But we do have a contact at least this time. All right, where is that? Over here. So let's slowly turn around, and then we also have to pass that asteroid on our right. Why are we still at cruise speeds? Thank you. Alright, let's move up closer. Yeah, that one kind of has blanked out. Whoops, so much about that guy. Yeah, apologies. That guy just totally decided to not move at all. It's possible that if I shoot him only once, they might start to get moving. Since this is our only enemy here at this point, I'll actually try that. Just hit him once, and then hope that the AI kicks in. You know, self-preservation and all that. And then we can have a real fight, and not just him sitting there. But apparently he likes sitting there. Well, so much about that. I gave him a fair shot. Well, so much about showing off elephant tactics. Oh, god damn it. God freaking damn it. I guess I get to explain it first because the next patrol point is so far away. Oh well. Once upon a time, music, could you tune it down, please? Music? Well, once upon a time, let's say in X2, doesn't really matter, it could also be X3 Reunion. There was a really interesting ship that a lot of people, including me, abused for its very peculiar features. That ship was called the Elephant, the Split Elephant to be more exact. And actually, it wasn't really a combat ship to begin with, which just added to its weirdness, because there actually was a huge transport ship that you bought at some point because you wanted to buy one of those so that you could build stations wherever you wanted without having to contact NPCs and then watching them slowly move there, and so you could just have your own ship and just tell it to go there, and you would know, yeah, it'll reach that point eventually, because it's my ship and I can keep track of it. But anyway, it wasn't actually a combat ship, but it had like about average sheer power for such a massive freighter. But it did have pretty impressive weaponry that you could mount on it, which got some people to think, you know, can I use it can I use this transport ship to kill capital ships? Actually, you could, because it embodied one old Navy motto, which is be faster than anyone who's better armed than you. Because it did have some pretty decent guns. It didn't have great shields, but thanks to it being able to mount the guns, you could use the superior speed that it had compared to any capital ship in that game to basically just get the enemy capital ship's attention, then move away from it, and then shoot at it while it was following you, which which due to the fact how the anti-capital ship weapons in the X series worked, put you in a spot where you could shoot the enemy as much as you wanted, and the enemy couldn't shoot back because the projectile speed of those guns was so slow that that if you had them on the extreme range of it, you would have moved out of their range by the time they would be at where you were earlier. Why, since they were following you, they would even ran into it if you were firing at them outside of their effective range. Anyway, so a lot of people, including me, used that ship to clear off first Xeno sectors with just one ship, which were designed to probably be cleared a couple of hundred hours later with a whole fleet, and then within minutes you would lose half your fleet, which I said, nah, elephant tactics, man, they always work. This ship can actually do the same, because while it's not slower than fighters, also in this game you can just move somewhere and then turn around and shoot an enemy that is following you due to decoupling mode. I haven't actually demonstrated decoupling mode much, because in fighters you probably are not going to use it unless for landing or some other very specific purposes. But in this ship, using decoupling mode is actually huge, because this way you can go in one direction, but since you're in space, you don't need your engines to continue to accelerate you, because there's nothing stopping you really. So you can just use your maneuvering thrusters to turn the ship around and choose and shoot at an enemy that is chasing you, which has to keep up with your high speed, which means if he's a fighter with energy issues, won't be able to fly fast and fire much. And also, because it's chasing you, it'll probably not evade much either. So, God damn it. That freaking cough was fine until I started talking. Apologies. Alright, we have another contact. Atlantis again. Since we have 2 contacts, I'm not going to give it chances if it just decides to just not move again. I'll just happily destroy it. Alright, so much about that guy. Has a cutlass. Ooh! One of the few enemy ships that this is actually still maneuverable enough to engage. And because we're seriously outgunned, it's actually not even funny. By how simple this fight is, even without, you know, cheese tactics basically. Which elephant tactics admittedly is. It's very old cheese tactic. Anyway, let's get a little bit closer. Oh dear, I like those level 4 guns. They obliterate stuff. Anyway, there's another one. I guess that guy over there, maybe. It's too far away to make out, though. Also, this patch has some other weird issues right now, like, even if enemy ships move, the ICFS and the aiming corrections don't really work well at all. So you basically have to, guess where you want to shoot at and not rely on the target lead indicators too much, because they're horribly wrong. Oh well. Guess we don't need cheese tactics if we just obliterate everything on approach, because they're just standing still for some reason. I had like one mission before this where they didn't move too, and then I had another one where they did actually fight back, so I thought maybe I would be lucky and they would actually fight back, but you know, I also like easy money. You can imagine it was an epic fight where I used tactics, but nah. Game said, nah. You managed that ground combat mission this time, so we're not gonna allow you to demonstrate other cheese tactics in, you know, in space. Okay. Game. Anyway, this variant is actually more expensive than the one I'm gonna get. But the one I'm gonna get is still gonna have the same weapons, supposedly. Not sure. It's possible that by the time it comes out and it fully comes out as a variant, they might be looking into that, because it's like 75 euros cheaper and it's not that much of a downgrade, and it has more cargo capacity. So I think they might take a look at that and say, you know what? Why do we give people stuff away for free? All right. Anyway, another thing I figured out. Is you might be wondering, in the last episodes I was using an Aurora, even though I didn't technically own an Aurora. That was because of the Dragonfly. Like here, since the constellation Taurus doesn't exist yet, I get a constellation Andromeda as a loaner ship to use in the time until it appears. So the same for the so something similar happened for the Dragonfly. Although you may be wondering, the Dragonfly did already exist and it was already flyable, so why would you get a loaner ship for that? Which was what confused me too. However, there's also Arena Commander loaner ships. So basically, in case this would be your only ship, they also gave people a different ship that would be usable in Arena Commander so that you could fight. And because the Dragonfly really is no ship for that you could use for Arena Commander because it barely has any guns on it. It's a space bike, you know, not a fully fledged spaceship. So they gave all the people who owned that also an Aurora that they could use in Arena Commander. Because they probably overlooked this, it's also usable in the Persistent Universe. Alright. Was another contract though. At least this time this guy moved, not that I tried to evade much, but anyway, I'll take moving. And for similar reasons right now, buying the constellation Taurus didn't just give me a constellation Andromeda, but because neither of them is classified as being usable in Arena Commander. I also got a Hornet for my trouble. Which I thought, yay, I actually have a full fighter craft now. And after I started to use it, I thought, ew, what? That ship is really terrible. Because it actually is. You know, UAE's premier dogfighter and the ship that I got, it looks similar and it has the Hornet name, but with just 2 Gatling guns, it's barely able to kill anything. Alright, anyway, so much about that. Apparently I got a special job opportunity here, which I haven't gotten before, to be honest. Personal? What's that good here? Got your name from our Human Resources Department. I've been hearing good things about you and recommended I reach you out. And I'd like to meet somebody face to face before I get into business with them. Call me old fashioned, so I don't swing by Cafe Hussein and Levski and we'll talk. See if we feel like working together. Interesting. That sounds very interesting. I'm actually gonna go there. I'll probably repair my ship before I do though. And then maybe we'll try a special mission. Because right now there are some special appointments where people that are actually NPCs in the game world reach out to you and want to give you jobs, like Rekko for instance, but from the jobs that I did with her, she basically just wanted me to grab boxes from somewhere, which I don't like as a contract to begin with, so after doing it a few times, that, you know, I don't really care much about this, about peace. But Eckhart, I actually haven't worked together with that guy, so maybe I should at least give him a chance to prove that he's better than that other gal. Anyway, but I'm gonna wrap up this episode right here, and the next one will either be at Hurston or we'll meet Miles Eckhart for a security job op. Let's see how legal and all of that is going to be, but we have to go to Levski, and that can be problematic, and I still have to repair the ship and all that. So we're just gonna meet him, just gonna put you back in when we're on Levski, and we'll see that next time. Have a good one.